Organization. Our procedure for conducting business is the petitioner for each item will be asked to come forward, state your name for the record, and present his or her request. The board will ask any questions they may have. Then anyone wishing to speak to the proposal will be asked to come forward and voice their opinions. If there's more than one side to be presented, each side will have 10 minutes. Once your Once your request is heard and the board's decision is rendered, you may leave the meeting. However, if you have questions for staff, please wait until after the meeting is over and ask them, or you may contact them at the office the following day. Once public testimony and discussion for a particular item has concluded, the members of the board will deliberate and render a decision. Members with a personal or financial interest in any request are required to recuse themselves from voting. All decisions by the Architectural Review Board are final. Any aggrieved parties may appeal a decision of the board to the City Council within 15 days for procedural issues only. If your request is denied by the board, petitioners may appeal the board's decision to the Circuit Court within 30 days of the meeting. We have, how many members present? 5. We have 5 members present, which is what it takes to pass a motion. If, because of the number of members present, you'd like to delay your request to another week, please let us know at the time your project is announced. Our members tonight are Cedric Kimball is not here, Elizabeth Brown, Jake Johnson, Jeremy Kelly, John Hayden, Katie Williams, our last one, yes. Our land use staff are Christy Anderson, thank you, Paula Wade, and Ethan Fowler. All right. Announcements. Carol, did you have something to announce?
I'm Carol King. I'm the Vice Chair of the Historic Preservation Commission. And I just wanted to make you aware of a new process that we're working on, have just put into motion actually, which is the new historic signs that you'll start seeing in the historic properties. And you've got your information that we left for you. That's actually of the new image of the new design. And we're really, with the help of the staff, doing a lot more exploration into the people as they apply for the historic signs for their houses. The guidelines are there, and these are the public ones that they go by. And then after they do the application process and it goes through the staff to us, the staff in this first go round, which the deadline was September the 1st, and they will be given out at the December HPC meeting. The ones who've been waiting until we got this in place. So we're real excited about that. But it's really helping to document these structures one by one that get these signs a little bit more over and above the actual survey process, which, at this point is decades old. One of the things that does go back to the Architectural Review Board is that the staff does add to the application process all of the different what you guys have helped them with decision-wise on the historic properties. If there were new roofs or added driveways, that kind of thing. So all the different alterations to the properties are noted on the application process, hopefully with design review. So we just wanted to make you a little aware of that's what's happening, and thank you for your support.
Thank you, Carol.
And I think we're going to start mailing out the brochure with the approval letters from this board too, to further disseminate. I mean, the neighborhoods have sent something out, so y'all may be seeing it if you're interested in a sign of the process for how to get one.
All right. The first item on the agenda is is it Bunk or Bunky? All right. Cloverfield Idlewild, 3144 Montezuma Road.
Hello, I'm Kimberly Bunky, and I'm here to request the ability to build a privacy fence on my property. There is currently a chain link fence in the backyard. It's 210 feet, and I would like to replace it with a cypress wood privacy fence that's 6 feet tall. It would stay within the property line. I know that the back part of my fence right now is on my neighbor's property line, as far as it's right on the line. So it would be within the actual fence that's currently there.
So where are you starting and where are you going to here?
There should be a site plan.
I'm looking at the site plan. I think I am.
Do you see the black,
Okay.
back corner of the house?
Gotcha. I gotcha. Just in the backyard
And
then.
perimeter, yeah.
And you're tying into the corners of the house.
Yes.
Okay. I was looking at the red line and thinking, ooh, she's
No,
building a
no,
property
no.
fence around her whole property.
That's it back there, yes. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. Is there anyone from the audience who wishes to speak to this proposal? All right.
Just real quick, Kim, I live on Maston Lane. I've walked by your house 1,000 times walking my dogs. You're just going to take down the chain link, put up cypress. Same, I just did that myself over Maston Lane, so I know exactly where it's going.
All right. All right. Any other discussion from the board? May I have a motion then?
Move to approve as submitted.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Go and build your fence. I've always liked that house.
Thank you.
Corner of my villa, covered.
All right, Christine Kane, also Cloverdale Idlewild, 3143 Lexington Avenue.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the committee. Is it okay if I take my mask off?
Sure.
I come before you today asking you to allow me to replace my windows in my home. I've lived there for 7 years. I will tell you, I love Cloverdale. I love where I live. I take what y'all do very seriously, and I understand why you do it. I would not be replacing these windows if they could be salvaged. Actually, I think Christy came by and took photos, but on the far right-hand side, on the front, somebody actually replaced that with plexiglass instead of real glass. The window's completely warped out. The windows on the left-hand side of the house, there's so much rot that it's gotten down in my walls in between. So I do this with your specs in mind, and what you desire and want, and what I want is to have a window that looks almost exactly the same as what's in there right now. So I humbly ask you to consider my request.
So what is this window that you're putting in? Can you describe it?
Yes, ma'am, that particular one, or just I'm sorry.
It's, I mean, a wood window, a,
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
On the front, there's 5 windows on the front, and
Yeah.
they're in pretty poor shape. On the side, there's an additional 5.
okay.
On the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, there's 2. And there's that smaller window you have, Chairman, Madam Chair, that is over my kitchen sink. So at first, I was just going to replace the front ones, but there's so much rot in the ones on the left and the right-hand side, I really don't think I have a choice. I realize it'll be quite a sizable amount of money I'm putting into the property, but I love it, and I plan on staying there a long time. So I'm just trying to do my part to help the neighborhood look the best it can be. I have an issue with the house next door to me, but that's not the place to bring this.
I walk my dogs past your
I
house
thought I
every day,
recognized-
and a matter of fact, I did during lunch, and I know I took some pictures of the house next
Oh,
door, and I'm
okay.
gonna talk to Miss Anderson about that. Somebody,
We have been, did you get a
Yeah.
response?
I did. I got a response from Mr.
Okay,
Hunt.
we've been in touch with Housing Codes about what's going on.
And
good.
I'm sorry, and to let you know, I've been doing some sleuthing myself because they're having a hard time contacting that gentleman. He's down in Florida. I found out today, I found a phone number for him, and we're on the hunt. There's a lot of people that love that street and walk and do stuff, and I see people stop and just stare at that house. Unfortunately, it's very disheartening. Sorry, Madam Chair, I didn't mean to go on.
That's all right. I've had bad neighbors before myself.
I'm sorry, just one more question. Looking at your house from Lexington, on the right side, it's got four windows or five?
If you're looking at Lexington, on the right-hand side, did you say what you did, the right-hand side? There's two. There's just two on that side. If you're looking at my house, on the right-hand side, there's two. On the left-hand side, there's five.
Aren't there four? You're going to replace two on the right-hand side. How many are you replacing
I'm going
on?
to replace those two on the right-hand side,
Okay,
yes, sir.
okay. Well, I know again, over years, I've seen a lot of work go into the house. I know you've spent a lot already. And,
Little by
we
little.
we love these homes, but we all know the work rarely ends.
Well, those windows have lasted 90 years. I hope I last 90 years.
That's not bad. Hopefully these will last 9 years.
Yeah.
Have you had anybody like Hilda Dent, who repairs windows for a living, look at your windows?
Yes, ma'am, I actually have.
Okay.
Joey Barges, I don't know if y'all know Joey. He's a builder that does a lot of things in and around Cloverdale. I had Joey come look at it
Okay.
before I had Southern Sash, and I worked with Bobby's service at Southern Sash. I don't know if y'all know Bobby. And I asked their opinion about what I should do. I actually talked to Marshall Millworks 3 years ago. This has been in my mind for a long time. And I had one of those gentlemen come out and look at it, and he said, Christy, you can't, he's like, these really aren't salvageable. And he's like, I think there's water actually getting down. You know how the bottom part of a window will rot?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so I'm worried. I want to get it taken care of, because sometimes it smells dank in the house, if we get a big rain.
All right. Is there anyone from the audience to speak to this? All right. Any other questions or comments from the board? Then I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve as submitted.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? All right. I don't often vote for window replacement, but I think you've certainly done your due diligence.
Well, yes, ma'am, I take it seriously, and I thank you, Madam Chair, and the committee. And
Yes.
Christy, thank you, too.
All right. We have Russell Preston, Cloverdale, Idlewild, 3215 Montezuma Road.
Evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Russell Preston. My wife and I have lived at 3215 Montezuma for 15 years. We recently built a pergola and were notified that we were in violation. So we're seeking permission to keep our pergola. We made an attempt to put it behind our house. One thing that was on the complaint was that it was highly visible from DeSoto. That's an updated picture from DeSoto. I hope that you notice that it's not very highly visible. And I think my application pretty much covers everything else.
Okay. Thank you for the picture. It's certainly visible, but
Yes, but highly visible.
highly visible is questionable.
It was not stained when I saw it,
Right.
so.
It was highly visible then, definitely. Yeah.
We've seen worse.
This is actually pretty nice.
In that backyard, we have 3 hackberries, and it's impossible to grow anything. So this is kind of our salvaging the backyard for our use.
Have you talked to Mr. Springer about your hackberries? Because he doesn't really like them.
We did seek some professional opinion about the hackberries. What was his name? It was Mr. Springer. Yeah, and he did not like them, but he told us there wasn't a whole lot we could do about them.
Okay.
It's just kind of the aphids were real bad this year.
All right. Any questions from the board? May I have a nomination, a motion?
Move to approve as submitted.
Second.
All in favor? All right.
Thanks, y'all.
You're very welcome. See that you don't sin again.
Please don't paint it. No.
All right, and what is our last one today?
Next to last.
Next to last.
Next
Two more.
last.
We have two more.
All right. That was just wishful thinking on my part. Brian and Denise Stanley, 335 Felder Avenue.
Good evening. My wife and I are requesting permission to remove 2 trees from as you look at the house on the left-hand side. There is also a wall that where the yard is elevated, and the trees are both right on that wall as well.
Somebody should have pulled these before they got very big.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
was gonna say, could they be in a more precarious location, right between your house and your neighbor's house?
The way somebody explained it to me, it looked like they were volunteer trees, like you said, and they let them grow over the years, and now where they're situated, they're beating. With that last hurricane come through,
Oh, yeah.
my wife didn't sleep. Of course, I slept really well, but they're beating the house.
Well, sometimes I need to go because in the big storm in April, one of my neighbor's cedar trees decided it had lived enough and crashed into my wife's car. So better to take care of it before it decides to,
Well, it's not an appropriate tree for that spot.
probably not. No.
All right. Is there anyone from the audience to speak to this project? Any more comments from the board?
Would you be willing to work with the, Mr. Stringer on replacement of a
Yes,
canopy
ma'am.
tree somewhere else in the house, property?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't put anything.
Don't put it back there.
No.
No.
Some bushes maybe, but yeah.
To be honest with you, there's actually 3 trees there. We only asked to remove 2. The other one is a magnolia. I didn't want to press my luck, but you see the greenery behind it as well.
Another tree in a bad spot.
Like you said, the tree doesn't have an opportunity to grow in.
Maybe it's a little gem or something.
Yeah,
So-
trim it up, and if it gets to where you're worried about it, come see us again.
Yeah.
All righty.
It'll get bigger, but I mean, they take their sweet time about doing it too.
We trimmed it up. I was trying to do something to get it off the house.
Yeah.
So,
Might as well cut it now.
All right, may I have a motion on this project?
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
All right. All in favor? All right.
thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
You have a good evening.
You too. Millie Houston, Cloverdale, 1867 Galena.
I will just note on this one that Ms. Houston and I had a conversation after the agenda went out, and she is also willing to work with Russell on a replacement tree.
Okay.
Absolutely. I am asking for permission to remove a pecan tree in my backyard. I have lived at 1867 Galena for 34 years, so I'm not rushing to ask y'all. The poor tree has lost so many limbs, and recently in July, I had a huge pine tree fall that scared everyone in the neighborhood in the middle of the night, and it knocked off so many of the limbs on my neighbor's side that now it is, you can't really, I'm sorry, my pictures are not great, but even some of the limbs that are there have dead ends. It's just kind of lost its charm that it's had for 34 years. So I'm just at that point. And yes, I obviously love this neighborhood. Been here forever and hope to stay here as long as I can. And I'm willing to work to plant another tree, do whatever I need to do.
So is this tree also between the 2 houses like the last?
It what now?
Is this tree between the 2 houses as well?
It is. It's right next to my fence. right on the property line.
When I first looked at the photograph, I thought that's a pecan tree because I grew up next to them. I got one in my backyard and it looks like so many limbs have been knocked off. It's almost, usually they grow, large trunk grow out.
And it used to be like that.
And this one, which I know, hey, limbs fall, but sometimes it's a nuisance. I'm afraid this one is turning into
Well, it's a nuisance when, it's sticky and all that, but that's not a reason to get rid of a tree.
I've had to tell people many times, you got to live with a nuisance, but when it's
Right.
a danger, especially with, I don't think hurricane season's over, but it is.
You would think it would be, but
You would.
I don't know if you remember, but my front porch was the recipient of a tree during Ivan, so
This is 2020. I don't count anything.
I don't either, John.
well, I will say that it looks like it's at the end of its useful life for sure. So, and you'll be willing to work with Russell on
Absolutely.
replanting another tree. All right. If
And
there's,
it can go anywhere on your property, it doesn't have to go back there, so.
It what now?
it can go anywhere.
Yeah, it can go anywhere on your property, it
Yes.
doesn't have to go in that
There is a
same-
better spot. Yes,
Yes.
thank you, Kay.
All right. May I have a motion on this project if there's no further discussion?
I do have a letter from Cloverdale.
Yes?
No objection to the removal of the pecan tree. However, we are in agreement with the urban forester that a replacement canopy tree should be planted with the placement and type of tree to be determined in conjunction with the urban forester. I let Darby know that we had talked and that was now part of the proposal, and she said that was fine.
All right. All right. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve as submitted.
No, presented.
Oh, as presented. My apologies.
That's all right. Second?
Second.
All right. All in favor? All right. Call the tree man.
I know who it is. Thank you so much.
They've been very busy in the old neighborhood.
I mean,
Thank you so much.
certainly. Is there we need to have any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, they stand approved as mailed to the board. Is there any other business that needs to be brought to the board? If not,